Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going to be exploring Kabir.
Kabir.
Yes.
The poetry of Kabir.
Ah.
Specifically those verses that we find
Specifically
in the Guru Granth Sahib.
Yeah, those verses in the Guru Granth Sahib. Now,
Oh.
for those of you who may not know, the Guru Granth Sahib is it's revered by Sikhs as scripture, but it's actually a collection of wisdom from a variety of saints and mystics.
Absolutely.
And it really speaks to just this idea of universal spirituality.
Yeah.
So we're going to be zeroing in on Kabir's unique contribution to this pretty extraordinary collection.
Yeah, and you know what I find so fascinating about Kabir's poetry in the Guru Granth Sahib is that it doesn't just, tell us what to believe or what to think. It really it sparks a fire in our souls, right?
Yeah.
Kind of pushes us to question, to really introspect, and to seek a truth that resonates deep within.
Yes, and I think that's why his work feels so relevant even centuries later. Because it's not just about reciting beautiful verses.
Yeah.
It's about grappling with the big questions of life, death, and the nature of the divine.
Absolutely. They're like mirrors reflecting our own longings and fears and aspirations.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Should we dive into one of these mirrors?
Let's do it.
Okay, so on page 67, Kabir writes, "What if you wear many clothes or live in the forest?
Okay.
What if you, after having worn a distinctive dress of some order and sheeted the men and gods?
Wow.
What if you have accumulated wealth in your house or have given charity? What if you have bathed at holy places? Without Ram's name, all these are just show off."
He doesn't hold back, does he?
He doesn't.
It's like he's looking right at us and asking, what are you really seeking?
Yeah, what is it that you're after? Is it outward appearances or a genuine connection with the divine?
Yeah.
And I think that's the essence of Kabir, right? He cuts through the noise of empty rituals and societal expectations and urges us to examine our own hearts. He's reminding us that true devotion is not about external displays, but about the inner transformation, the yearning for Ram, for that divine essence that resides within.
Yeah, it's a powerful reminder in a world that often seems to prioritize image over substance.
Absolutely.
I'm also struck by how Kabir uses such vivid imagery. Cheating men and gods, accumulating wealth, bathing at holy places. It's like he's painting a picture of all the ways we try to find fulfillment outside of ourselves.
Right, and then he brings us back to the core. Without Ram's name, all these are just show off.
Yeah.
It's a stark reminder that true fulfillment lies in cultivating that inner connection, that remembrance of the divine that transcends all those external efforts.
It makes you think, what are the show-off elements in our own lives?
Yeah, what are we clinging to?
Yeah, what are we clinging to that's maybe hindering our spiritual growth?
It's a question that Kabir invites us to ponder. Now let's turn to page 376, where she uses a different kind of imagery this time, drawing from the natural world. He says, "Turmeric and lime, are they different or the same? Without the name, the world does not understand."
Ooh. This one feels almost like a riddle.
Yeah, it does.
Turmeric and lime, two distinct ingredients that when you combine them, create something new.
Absolutely. And Kabir was a master of using these simple metaphors to convey profound truths. In this case, he's challenging the rigid social hierarchies of his time, particularly the caste system. He's saying that just like turmeric and lime blend together, true devotion transcends these man-made distinctions.
It's a radical idea. Especially considering the context of his time.
It is.
He's essentially saying that in the eyes of the divine, we're all equal, we're all part of the same universal essence.
Precisely. And he emphasizes this by saying, without the name, the world does not understand. Right. It's that connection to the divine, that remembrance of the true self that allows us to see beyond the illusions of separation and division.
It makes you wonder, how often do we get caught up in those illusions of separation in our own lives?
Oh, all the time, right?
Yeah. And how can we cultivate that sense of unity, that understanding that we're all connected at a deeper level?
I think Kabir's poetry offers us a path. A way of seeing the world through the lens of love and compassion, recognizing that divine spark in every being.
Yeah. I'm also struck by how this poem, like the previous one, subtly points to the power of the name.
Yes.
It seems like remembering the divine is a key theme that runs through Kabir's work.
Yes. The repetition of God's name is a central practice in many spiritual traditions, including Sikhism. And Kabir emphasizes this in a beautiful verse found on page 97. The name of God is a ship. It is a raft. By taking this, you shall cross the ocean of the world.
I can almost feel the rocking of the waves, the vastness of the ocean, representing the challenges and the uncertainties of life. And then amidst it all, there's this ship.
Right, there's that lifeline.
This lifeline, which is the remembrance of the divine.
Kabir's reminding us that the journey of life can be turbulent, filled with storms and unexpected currents.
Yeah, for sure.
But by holding on to the name, by keeping that connection to the divine alive within us, we can navigate these choppy waters and reach the shore of liberation.
It almost makes you want to grab a hold of that lifeline right now.
It does, doesn't it?
To find that sense of stability and purpose amidst the chaos.
Yeah, that's a feeling I think many of us long for.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Kabir's poetry offers us a way to tap into that inner strength and resilience.
I love that.
Now let's explore another dimension of Kabir's poetry, one that grapples with the inevitability of death. On page 170, he reflects on a friend's passing, writing, "Seeing a friend's death, I contemplate in my mind youth, wealth, and the body, all shall go to waste."
There's a certain starkness to this verse.
There is.
A directness that can be a little unsettling.
Yes.
It forces us to confront this reality that we often try to avoid.
Yeah.
The impermanence of everything we hold dear.
Kabir doesn't shy away from the truth even when it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
He's reminding us that youth fades, wealth can vanish.
Right.
And the body is ultimately a temporary vessel.
Right.
It's a wake-up call urging us to examine our priorities.
Yeah.
To invest in what truly matters.
What truly matters.
Yeah.
It's like he's saying, don't waste your precious time on fleeting pleasures or clinging to things that will inevitably slip away.
Yes.
Focus on cultivating those qualities that will endure.
Exactly. And what are those qualities?
Yeah, what are those qualities?
Kabir points us toward them in other verses.
Okay.
Emphasizing the importance of love, compassion, and the pursuit of truth.
Okay.
These are the treasures that will accompany us beyond the confines of this physical realm.
I can't help but think about how this relates to our own lives. What are we holding on to too tightly?
Yeah, are we clutching too tightly?
What are we neglecting that might nourish our souls and leave a lasting impact?
These are profound questions that Kabir's poetry prompts us to ask. And it's through this self-reflection, this honest examination of our own hearts, that we begin to align ourselves with a deeper truth, a more meaningful way of being in the world.
Now, Kabir's poetry isn't all about confronting these difficult truths.
No.
He also offers these moments of pure beauty and wonder.
Yes.
Like in this verse from page 177.
Yeah.
Lion starts grazing on the grass.
What?
Wait, lion grazing on grass?
Yeah, what's going on there?
What's Kabir getting at here?
So this is where Kabir's mastery of metaphor really shines.
Okay.
He's not talking about a literal lion.
Right.
But using this unexpected image to represent the mind.
Okay.
That has been purified through spiritual practice.
So the lion, a symbol of power and ferocity,
right,
becomes gentle and content.
Yes.
Grazing peacefully like a herbivore.
Precisely.
Right.
Kabir is suggesting that through the practice of meditation, self-control, remembrance of the divine, the mind can be tamed.
Okay.
Its wild tendencies subdued. It becomes capable of experiencing a deep sense of peace and contentment.
It's such a powerful image of transformation.
It is.
Makes you wonder, what would it feel like to have a mind that's calm and clear?
Yeah.
Like a lion grazing peacefully in a meadow.
It's a state of being that many spiritual traditions aspire to.
Right.
This sense of inner harmony where the mind is no longer tormented by restless thoughts and desires.
Yeah.
And Kabir suggests that this is achievable.
Okay.
Through dedicated practice and a commitment to the path of awakening.
That's encouraging.
It is.
I'm also fascinated by the contrast that he creates between the lion typically associated with strength and aggression.
Right.
And this act of grazing, which is so gentle and passive.
It speaks to the paradoxical nature of spiritual growth.
Okay.
You know, it's often through confronting our own inner darkness, our shadow side, that we discover this deeper wellspring of peace and compassion.
That's a thought-provoking idea.
It is.
It's like Kabir saying that true strength lies not in dominance or aggression, but in this ability to tame our own inner beast.
Right.
And cultivate a sense of inner harmony.
Exactly. And that harmony is what allows us to live in greater alignment with ourselves, with others, and with the divine essence that permeates all of creation.
It's a beautiful vision, and one that I think we can all aspire to.
He is.
Now, there's another striking image from page 393 that I can't get out of my head.
Okay.
Kabir describes, one rich person was nearing death. He collected all his wealth and requested his people to bury him with it. When he was placed in the grave along with his wealth, he found that his tongue was not working, and he cannot say anything. It's like a dumb person eating raw sugar, feeling happy, but is not able to describe the sweet taste.
It's both funny and a bit unsettling.
Yes.
That image, right, of someone wanting to be buried with their wealth only to realize it's utterly useless in the face of death.
Yeah.
It's a powerful reminder of the fleeting nature of material possessions.
It is.
You know, Kabir was a master of using satire and dark humor to convey profound truths. He's not just pointing out the absurdity of clinging to wealth,
Right.
but also highlighting the inability to express or share the true joy of spiritual realization through material means.
Right. It's like the dumb person with the raw sugar.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, he might be experiencing that sweetness, but he can't communicate it. Similarly, those who focus solely on accumulating wealth might miss out on the deeper fulfillment that comes from spiritual awakening.
Absolutely. And what's even more poignant is that this realization comes too late for the rich man in the poem.
Oh, yeah.
Right. He's faced with the consequences of his attachment, able to express or share the truth that has finally dawned on him.
It's a sobering reminder to prioritize what truly matters.
Yes.
To invest in cultivating those inner qualities that will endure beyond the limitations of our physical existence.
Absolutely. Kabir's poetry urges us to awaken to this truth.
Yeah.
That true wealth lies not in material possessions, but in the richness of our inner lives. In our connection to the divine and in the love and compassion that we share with others.
You know, I'm already feeling like this deep dive is changing the way I see the world. I'm starting to notice the show-off elements in my own life, to question my attachments, and to really appreciate the simple beauty of things like a lion grazing peacefully.
That's the power of Kabir's poetry.
It is.
It doesn't just offer information, it sparks a transformation within us.
Yeah.
It urges us to awaken to a deeper truth and to live more consciously, more compassionately, and more fully.
Yes, I love that. This has been an incredible start to our exploration.
It has.
We've just scratched the surface of Kabir's profound poetry. And I can't wait to see where the rest of this deep dive takes us.
Indeed, we've just begun to unravel the tapestry of Kabir's wisdom.
Yes.
And there are many more threads to explore.
We'll be back soon with part 2, where we'll delve even deeper into Kabir's poetic world and uncover more of those treasures hidden within the Guru Granth Sahib.
I can't wait.
Me too.
Welcome back to our exploration of Kabir's profound poetry in the Guru Granth Sahib.
Yes.
We've already begun to see how he challenges us to look beyond the surface, to question our attachments, and to seek that deeper truth.
Yeah, and what's amazing is that he does it all through these simple yet incredibly powerful verses. I'm eager to delve into more of these poetic gems and see what other treasures we can uncover.
Well, let's turn to page 327, where Kabir confronts a theme that I think many of us tend to shy away from.
Okay.
Death. He writes, "The death which has frightened the whole world, my master's teachings have explained its reality. Now how should death come? My mind has accepted to die. Those who have killed their mind, they are really alive."
That's a bold statement.
It is.
It seems like Kabir's turning the concept of death on its head.
Right.
He's not talking about the physical death of the body, but about something much deeper.
Exactly. He's referring to the death of the ego.
Okay.
The death of the illusion of separation from the divine.
Okay.
He's suggesting that by surrendering to a higher power, by letting go of our limited sense of self, we can experience true liberation even while we're still alive.
It's a radical idea, but one that resonates with the teachings of many spiritual traditions.
It does.
This idea of dying to the ego, of transcending our limited perspectives, is often seen as the key to spiritual awakening.
Absolutely. And Kabir makes it clear that this is not an easy feat.
Right.
He says, "My mind has accepted to die." It implies a conscious effort.
Yeah.
A willingness to confront our fears and attachments and to surrender to something greater than ourselves.
It's a challenging path, but one that Kabir seems to embrace fully.
He does.
And he suggests that it's through this process of dying to the ego that we can truly come alive, experience a deeper sense of purpose and connection.
Now, on page 324, Kabir challenges another common misconception about spirituality, one that we've touched upon before, the emphasis on outward rituals over inner transformation.
Right.
He says, "If roaming about naked will make one achieve union with God, then all the deer of the forest would have attained liberation."
I love how Kabir uses humor and a bit of absurdity to make his point.
I know, it's brilliant.
It's like he's saying, come on, people, let's be real here. True spirituality is not about putting on a show or conforming to external rules.
He's cutting through the pretense.
Yeah.
Reminding us that genuine spiritual growth is an inner journey, a matter of the heart, not just empty gestures or outward conformity.
It's a message that feels particularly relevant in our modern world, where we're constantly bombarded with images and messages that focus on external appearances and quick fixes.
Absolutely.
Kabir reminds us to turn inward, to cultivate a deep and personal connection with the divine that goes beyond those superficial practices.
And this inward journey often involves confronting the allure of Maya, the illusion of the material world. On page 328, Kabir uses a really vivid metaphor to describe this. The Maya is prevailing all over the world. It has drowned the whole family, O human being. You are breaking with Hari and joining with Maya. Why are you sinking your boat on the sand?
That image of a boat sinking in the sand is so powerful. It really speaks to the futility of chasing after material possessions and worldly success.
Right.
It's as if Kabir's saying, don't get stranded on the shores of illusion.
Yeah, set your sights on something higher.
Yeah, set your sights on something more enduring, something that can truly fulfill your soul.
He's reminding us that true happiness and fulfillment are not to be found in external things,
right,
but in our connection to the divine, to that inner wellspring of peace, love, and wisdom that resides within each of us.
And he's urging us to make a conscious choice.
He is.
To break free from those clutches of Maya and set sail towards a deeper truth.
Yeah.
A more meaningful way of being in the world.
On page 329, Kabir continues to challenge us to go beyond the limitations of external authorities and to seek that wisdom from within.
Okay.
He writes, Kabir says, how beautiful is the rider on the horse of contemplation of God in his mind. He remains unattached and free from conflicts of the Vedas and the Muslim books of code of conduct.
I love that image of the rider on the horse.
It's beautiful imagery.
It speaks to the power of contemplation, of training our minds to focus on the divine.
Yes.
And it suggests that true spiritual progress comes not from blindly following scriptures or dogmas,
right,
but from cultivating a direct and personal experience of the truth.
He's advocating for an experiential approach to spirituality.
Okay.
One that's grounded in direct knowing rather than intellectual understanding or adherence to external rules. It's about mastering our own minds through meditation, contemplation, and the remembrance of the divine.
It's empowering, isn't it?
It is.
It suggests that we all have the capacity to access truth directly, to cultivate that inner knowing that goes beyond the limitations of scriptures or external authorities.
Absolutely. Kabir is encouraging us to trust our own inner compass, to listen to the voice of our hearts, and to seek guidance from that divine source within.
Now, this next verse from page 338 really resonates with me. Kabir observes, what if you wear many clothes or live in the forest? What if you, after having worn distinctive dress of some order and cheated the men and gods? What if you have accumulated wealth in your house or have given charity? What if you have bathes at holy places without Ram's name? All these are just show off.
It's like he's calling out the hypocrisy of those who prioritize outward displays of piety over genuine compassion or inner growth.
It's like a reminder to check our intentions.
Yes.
To make sure that our actions are aligned with a genuine desire to connect with the divine rather than a need for external validation or recognition.
He's calling us to be authentic in our spiritual practice.
Yes.
To focus on the essence of true devotion and to avoid getting caught up in superficial displays of piety. It's a message that's as relevant today as it was centuries ago.
Absolutely.
Reminding us that true spirituality is an inner journey, not an outward performance.
I think this resonates with many people, even those who don't identify with a specific religion. We've all encountered those who seem more concerned with appearances than with genuine compassion or inner growth.
It's true.
Kabir challenges us to go beyond the surface and to cultivate a spirituality that's rooted in love, humility, and a deep connection to the divine within.
Let's delve into another theme that Kabir explores so beautifully, the impermanence of life and the inevitability of death. On page 333, he offers this really thought-provoking analogy. Our parents' house, this world, is only for 4 days' stay. After 4 days, the daughter-in-law, our soul, shall go to her husband's house. God.
That's such a beautiful way to describe our journey through life.
It is.
He's using this familiar image of a daughter-in-law leaving her parents' home to get married.
Right.
And applying it to the soul's return to the divine.
It's a reminder that our time in this visible realm is temporary. A brief sojourn before we return to our true home, our union with the divine source. It's a perspective that can bring both comfort and a sense of urgency.
Comfort in knowing that we're not meant to be permanently attached to this world.
Yeah.
And urgency in recognizing that our time here is precious.
Right.
and should be used wisely to cultivate the qualities that will allow us to merge seamlessly with the divine.
Kabir is urging us to live with intention, to recognize the impermanence of the physical world, and to focus on the cultivation of love, compassion, and wisdom.
I'm struck by the Guru Granth Sahib's own description of this poem as contemplating the inevitability of death and encouraging detachment from worldly possessions.
It's a message that can liberate us from fear.
Yeah.
And empower us to live with greater awareness, purpose, and joy. It invites us to embrace the beauty and wonder of this journey, knowing that we're always guided and supported by the divine presence within and all around us.
Kabir's poetry isn't afraid to confront the challenges of the spiritual path.
No, it's not.
And on page 327, he uses this metaphor of a warrior to describe this inner struggle. He writes, "So long my mind did not know the reality of God the Creator was a big problem for me. Now my mind is engaged with the Creator God."
It's a powerful image, isn't it?
It is.
The idea that true spiritual progress requires a warrior spirit.
Yeah.
A willingness to confront our own inner demons, the ego desires and attachments that keep us from experiencing true freedom.
He's painting a picture of this internal struggle that I think we all experience at some point in our lives. The struggle to overcome our limitations, our fears, our attachments to things that ultimately don't serve us.
It's a reminder that the spiritual journey is not always easy or comfortable.
Right.
It requires us to confront our shadow side, to acknowledge our weaknesses, and to make a conscious choice to align ourselves with the divine.
And ultimately, this inner battle is about transforming our relationship with ourselves, with the world, and with the divine.
Absolutely. Kabir's poetry reminds us that we have the power to choose love over fear, to embrace compassion over judgment, and to cultivate inner peace amidst the chaos of the world.
His verses are a call to action, an invitation to embark on this inner battle, knowing that victory lies in aligning ourselves with the divine presence that resides within each of us.
Now, on page 476, Kabir once again challenges the hypocrisy of those who prioritize outward religious displays over inner transformation. He observes the Pandits of Benares wear the dhotis, which are 3.5 yards long, and wear the holy thread with 3 strands. They have rosary around their neck and clean, shining water pots in their hands. Do not call them saints of God. They are really the robbers of Benares.
It's a sharp critique, isn't it?
It is.
He's not impressed by the elaborate costumes, the rituals, or the social status associated with religious authority.
No, he's cutting through the facade and reminding us that true spirituality is about inner transformation, not external appearances.
He's reminding us that the true measure of our spiritual progress is not in the accumulation of wealth or the performance of rituals, but in the transformation of our hearts and minds.
It's a powerful message that resonates across time and cultures.
It does.
We all encounter those who prioritize outward displays of piety over genuine compassion or inner growth. Kabir challenges us to look beyond the surface and to cultivate a spirituality that's rooted in love, humility, and a deep connection to the divine within.
Let's turn our attention to page 479, where Kabir addresses someone directly challenging a practice that he finds misguided. He says, "O gardener woman, the leaves you are plucking, each of them have life, and the God for whom you are plucking is lifeless."
This verse speaks to Kabir's reverence for all forms of life, his deep understanding of the interconnectedness of all beings. He's challenging the practice of harming living plants to worship inanimate idols.
It's a reminder that true devotion is not about blind rituals or sacrificing life for the sake of tradition. It's about recognizing the sacredness of all creation and treating all beings with respect and compassion.
It's about aligning our actions with our spiritual understanding. Recognizing that every act is an opportunity to express our love for the divine and our connection to the web of life.
Kabir's message is about moving beyond empty rituals and embracing a spirituality that's grounded in reverence for all forms of life. And it's a reminder that the divine presence is not confined to temples or idols, but can be found in every leaf, every flower, every breath we take.
This poem challenges us to examine our own practices and to ensure that our actions reflect our deepest values and aspirations. It's a call to awaken to the sacredness of life and to live in a way that honors the interconnectedness of all beings.
Now on page 480, Kabir offers a poignant reflection on the death of a friend, observing, "From your 10th door, not even one drop of nectar is coming out. Where have the holy words like Parbram Parmasar and Mado gone that were absorbed in you?
It's such a powerful image, the 10th door representing the crown chakra,
Right.
the gateway to spiritual enlightenment.
Yes.
Kabir's observing that the life force, the spiritual energy, has left his friend's body. He's reflecting on the impermanence of the physical form and the mystery of what happens to the soul after death. And he does it in such a tender and human way. He asks, "O Baba, the person which was speaking in you, where has he gone? The one which was living in your body was dancing in his mind and used to tell stories to the people."
It's a question that I think we all ponder when faced with the loss of a loved one.
You do.
Where does that spark of life go?
Right.
What happens to the essence of the person who was so dear to us?
Kabir doesn't offer any definitive answers, but his poetry invites us to contemplate the mystery of death with courage, curiosity, and a deep reverence for the soul's journey.
It's a reminder that the physical body is but a temporary vessel for the eternal soul, and that while the body may perish, the essence of who we are continues on returning to the source from which it came.
Kabir's poetry challenges us to confront our fear of death, to recognize its inevitability, and to embrace the possibility of a life beyond the physical realm. It's a message that can bring comfort in times of grief and inspire us to live with greater awareness, purpose, and appreciation for this precious gift of life.
On page 872, Kabir uses another striking metaphor, this time comparing our relationship with Maya to a marriage.
Okay, interesting.
He says, "The person who does not possess Maya, there is no grace and glory of his house. The visitors go back hungry. He does not have contentment. He collects a number of blames, this always married one. Maya is great, who has made the minds of many great ascetics wavers."
He's suggesting that Maya is like this captivating spouse who can easily entrap us with her allure, her promises of pleasure, security, and fulfillment. But he's also warning us that this marriage is ultimately unfulfilling, leading to a sense of emptiness, dissatisfaction, and a constant craving for more.
It's a powerful reminder that true happiness and contentment are not to be found in external things, but in our connection to the divine, to that inner wellspring of peace, love, and wisdom that resides within each of us.
Kabir is urging us to embrace simplicity, detachment, and contentment, recognizing that true wealth lies in the richness of our inner lives, not in the accumulation of material possessions.
This poem challenges us to examine our own attachments to Maya, to recognize the ways in which she might be holding us back from experiencing true freedom and fulfillment. It's an invitation to break free from her grasp and to embrace a spirituality that's grounded in the pursuit of truth love and the realization of our divine nature.
You know, as we delve deeper into Kabir's poetry, I'm struck by how his words written centuries ago still feel so relevant today.
Absolutely. His insights into the human condition, the challenges of the spiritual path, and the transformative power of love and devotion, they transcend time and space.
They do.
His verses offer a timeless wisdom that can guide us on our own journeys of self-discovery and awakening.
And they remind us that the quest for truth, love, and liberation is a universal human pursuit. One that's worth embracing with courage, commitment, and an open heart.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the poetry of Kabir. It's amazing how his words written centuries ago still resonate so deeply with us today.
His poetry offers a timeless wisdom.
It does.
That speaks to the challenges and aspirations of the human spirit.
Yes. Regardless of time or place, we've seen how Kabir challenges us to look beyond outward appearances, to question our attachments, and to seek a deeper truth within.
And he does it all with such honesty and vulnerability, you know? He doesn't shy away from expressing his own struggles and doubts. Which makes his poetry all the more relatable and inspiring.
Absolutely. Let's continue our exploration with a verse from page 857, where Kabir expresses his frustration with the allure of Maya, the illusion of the material world. He writes, "Curse be on this body, curse be on the wealth, curse be on Maya, and curse be on my wisdom, which has crooked thinking, O God. Kindly control the Maya with your grace so that my boat can cross over."
Oh, wow.
There's such raw emotion in this verse.
There is.
It's almost as if Kabir is crying out in despair, recognizing the power of Maya to cloud our judgment and lead us astray.
He's acknowledging the difficulty of resisting the temptations of the material world, the seductive promises of pleasure, security, and fulfillment that Maya offers, and he's appealing to a higher power for guidance and support in navigating these treacherous waters.
It reminds us that the spiritual journey isn't always easy or straightforward.
It's not a straight line.
There will be times when we feel lost or confused or tempted to stray from the path.
Absolutely. But even in those moments of darkness, Kabir's poetry offers this glimmer of hope.
Yes.
He reminds us that we are not alone in this struggle, that there is a divine grace that can support us in overcoming our limitations and reaching the shore of liberation.
On page 1253, Kabir uses another powerful metaphor to describe our reliance on material things.
Okay.
What is the reliance of the wealth? Therefore, we must make some boat, something to depend upon after death in this life itself. The pot of the human body cannot be relied upon, as it may break even with a minor shock.
Wow.
I'm struck by the contrast he creates between the fragility of the human body, which he compares to a pot that can easily break, and then the enduring nature of the boat. This spiritual practice that can carry us across the ocean of death and rebirth.
He's reminding us that while our physical existence is temporary, the qualities we cultivate within ourselves, love, compassion, wisdom, and connection to the divine, are eternal.
Yes.
These are the true treasures that will accompany us beyond the limitations of our physical form.
It's a powerful reminder to invest our time and energy in what truly matters.
Absolutely.
To prioritize spiritual growth over material pursuits, to build that boat that can withstand the storms of life and carry us safely to our ultimate destination.
On page 1349, Kabir offers a glimpse of what it feels like to experience that liberation from the illusion of Maya. Now my illusions of life and death have vanished. The Sahaj state of my mind has shown its effect.
This verse feels so peaceful and serene.
It does.
It's as if Kabir is speaking from a place of profound inner stillness.
Yes.
Where the duality of life and death, the fear and attachment that often bind us to the material world, have dissolved.
He's describing a state of Sahaj, often translated as effortless awareness or naturalness.
Yeah.
It's a state of being where the mind is calm, clear, and connected to the divine source, free from the fluctuations of thought and emotion.
He continues, when the light of God appeared, all the darkness in my mind was expelled. I got this jewel of Ram Nam after doing the meditation on God.
Beautiful.
It's a beautiful image of spiritual awakening.
It is.
The light of divine awareness dispelling the darkness of ignorance and delusion. And he emphasizes that this realization, this precious jewel of Ram Nam, is attained through meditation, through the practice of turning inward and connecting with the divine presence within.
Kabir's poetry reminds us that we all have the capacity to awaken to this truth.
Yes.
To experience this liberation from suffering.
Yeah.
It's a matter of dedicating ourselves to the path of cultivating a deep and personal connection with the divine through practices like meditation, contemplation, and remembrance of the divine name.
One of the things that I find most inspiring about Kabir is his fearlessness.
Oh, absolutely.
He wasn't afraid to speak truth to power, even when it put him at risk.
He wasn't.
On page 251, Kabir recounts a time when he was summoned by the emperor and refused to bow down, declaring, "I do not salute anybody except God."
Wow.
That's a bold statement.
It is.
It shows his unwavering commitment to a higher principle, a deeper truth that transcends worldly authority.
Kabir's example reminds us that true spirituality is not about blind obedience or conformity to social expectations.
Right.
It's about aligning ourselves with our deepest values.
Yes.
And having the courage to live in accordance with those values, even when it's difficult or unpopular.
It's about recognizing that true liberation comes from within. From freeing ourselves from the shackles of fear, conformity, and attachment to external validation.
On page 290, Kabir expresses this yearning of the soul for union with the divine, asking, "Oh God, if you send me away from you, then tell me another way of liberation. You are present everywhere in various forms. How can you deceive me now?"
This verse speaks to the deep longing that resides within each of us.
It does.
The desire to return to our true home.
Yes.
To experience that oneness with the divine source from which we came.
Kabir is challenging the notion of separation, recognizing that the divine is all-pervasive, present in every aspect of creation.
And he's expressing a deep trust in that connection.
He is.
Knowing that this union is our ultimate destiny.
His poetry reminds us that this connection is always available to us, regardless of our circumstances or our perceived shortcomings.
Right.
It's a matter of remembering our true nature, of cultivating that inner awareness, and of surrendering to the love and grace that are always flowing towards us.
As we conclude our deep dive into the poetry of Kabir, I'm left with a profound sense of gratitude for his wisdom, his honesty, and his unwavering commitment to truth. His words have touched my heart and inspired me to live a more conscious, compassionate, and meaningful life.
I share that gratitude. Kabir's poetry is a gift, a treasure trove of wisdom that can guide us on our own journeys of self-discovery and awakening. His verses offer a timeless message of love, hope, and the possibility of liberation.
And they remind us that we're all on this journey together.
We are.
Seeking that truth.
Seeking that connection.
That connection to the divine.
Yeah, that love, that light.
Yeah, love that light.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the poetry of Kabir.
It's been a joy.
Until next time, may you find peace, joy, and a deep connection to the divine within back.